Hey everyone, welcome to the Vault. Jason and Pierre here with we would consider this an emergency video, um, talking about international shipping. So Pierre, take it away.
Yeah, I think it's an emergency because I'm getting so many messages about it, and I want it to stop.
Right.
So I think like that's number one, right? I mean, I think that's been
Yeah.
the tough part, but I understand everyone's like concerned. You know, they love getting hats from Toppers, Fam, and all these
hmm
other places that are out there. Um, but listen, I think we've got some answers here. I know Jason, you've put a lot of time and effort into this, along with Leon, who's not here. He put some time and effort into
Right.
creating some dialogue via the Discord. But I
Right.
hope that this kind of alleviates some concerns and allows people to understand what their options are.
Right.
And I'm sure you've nailed it down. So with that, how about you jump right into it, Jason?
Yeah. Yeah. So like Pierre's been saying, we've been getting a ton of questions. We have a channel on our Discord um, for like reshipping and stuff. The information is all over the place. So I figured let's make a little video, show exactly
Mhm.
show people what their options are, how to actually use those options, and so they can get their hats from overseas. And so let's just jump right in, I guess. Right. So when
Yeah.
you're looking for a reshipper, there's a lot of options out there. You can just Google EU reshipper, something like that. But I pulled up some of the ones that were mentioned specifically in our Discord. Um, but there's a few things you want to look at when you're looking at a reshipper. One, not only just the shipping fees, because they're basically the same across all of them, but you want to look at like monthly membership fees, what they're going to charge you for that, packaging fees, what they're going to charge you to receive a package, consolidate it, stuff like that. And also, one of the most important things you want to look at is where is their warehouse. Um, and that's super important because if you're ordering a lot from, say, the EU, uh, specifically like Toppers or Fam or something like that, you're going to want a warehouse in the EU. If you're ordering a lot from the UK, you're going to want uh, a warehouse in the UK. Same with like Japan, whatever. And the reason for that is you don't want to pay extra custom duties for
Yeah.
the warehouse to receive your shipment, right? So, because of Brexit and all that stuff, shipping from the EU to the UK can be kind of troublesome, especially depending on the size of your packages and how often they get shipped there. So, just keep that in mind. So, I have a few options here. One that was mentioned is Ship German. Um, they have a warehouse, obviously, in Germany. Um, they are kind of expensive. They charge you on top. There's like a monthly membership fee, but they have a warehouse in Germany, which is right next door to Austria. That's good. Another one was myus.com. Again, they have a membership fee, um, so watch out for that. Skypacks was one that was mentioned. Their warehouse is in the UK. Again, a monthly membership fee. Reship. A lot of people have used Reship before. Very
Yeah.
reputable company. Um, their warehouse is in the UK. You also get one in Canada and one in the US. So for our European friends or international friends, this may be an option for you for ordering from the US.
Yeah, we're talking a
Um,
lot about coming from overseas to us, but it's also going in
right,
reverse too. I think this is
right,
helpful for everybody. One thing I
right.
do want to say, Jason,
Yeah,
before we continue on, right? I think with some of these costs and whatnot, I think what's important is not to make hasty decisions, right? And like look at how
right,
many hats you're on average buying,
right.
in X amount of time, and figure out like how much is it adding per hat to
And
to use one of these services, just to make sure you're not jumping into anything hastily. But I'll hand it back to
right.
you, Jason. This is
Yeah,
my thoughts as we kind of move along here.
and I'll go through a little scenario towards the end of the video where we talk about a typical buyer and what they may face. All right.
Okay.
Um, Ship it to. They have honey has some deals there. They have a warehouse in. all over the place. But again, I believe they have a monthly membership fee. So the one I'm using or trying to use, and the one that fits right for me, is Forward to Me. What's nice about Forward to Me is they have, if you see this drop down, we can zoom in. I don't know if we can zoom in or not. They have a UK address, a German address, a Japan address, and a Turkey address. So if I want to go to New Era Japan and order something, I'm covered there. New Era Europe, covered there. And then also for the ones in the EU, they have the German address, which is really, really nice. The other thing too is there's no monthly membership fee. They will hold your packages for free for up to 30 days. And they just charge you the shipping rate to ship it over. I'm sure they tack on a few extra dollars per package. They got to make their money somehow, right? But I'm fine for that because the frequency I'm going to use it, everything like that, it works for me. Again, weigh your options. Know your buying patterns, how often you're going to use it. Maybe there's a better one for you. But these are all pretty reputable companies. They've all been used quite a bit. So I'm using Forward to Me. When you do sign up, I've already signed up, obviously. You'll see this package inbox. So depending on where you have things shipped to, they'll tell you if you have packages waiting there or not. But the important thing is to get the addresses, right? And where do I? So here you can see I already have a package on the way to me. I need to find my German address. Give me just 1 second. We might have to cut this out. Okay, here it is. So here's my German address. This is important to me because this is what I'm going to enter at Toppers, for instance.
Right.
All right, so let's go do that. Let's go sign up at Toppers. Because I'm using a German address, I'm going to want to use Toppers zstore.eu. If you're using a UK address, use .co.uk. But for me, I'm using a German address, so I'm going to use topperstore.eu. I'm going to go, let's go ahead and log out. I'm going to just create a brand new account.
Okay.
So go ahead and register. You can see my stuff is already auto-filled. That's because that's one little tip I wanted to give everybody. If you're registering on a bunch of websites and stuff, use a password manager, specifically one that generates passwords for you. You don't want to be using the same password over and over and over again, because if one site is hacked, basically you've compromised all of your accounts everywhere. So use password manager. Another nice thing about the password manager is you can see it all auto-filled my username and password, so I don't have to fumble around typing that in, especially if I'm trying to buy a hot hat or something. But I'm going to go ahead and sign up again. Just fill out your normal user information. Because I'm already using the same account, I'm going to use a little plus sign. I don't need a separate email. I just need to use the plus sign after my username. That will act like a new email, but we'll forward it to my regular email inbox. That's another little tip I wanted to give you guys if you're signing up. And then I'm just going to enter a generic password right now. Change it later with my right. And so my address, this is where I want to enter my German address here. So I'm going to copy the street name. I'm going to copy the city. Actually, that needs to go there as well. I'm going to copy the city. I'm going to copy the zip. And then the country I'm going to select as Germany. Yeah. And then I am done. And then you want to keep this box unchecked. This one that says the shipping address does not match the billing address. We're going to use this address for both our shipping and our billing.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And
yeah,
then,
because if you don't do that, right, it would flag as some sort of fraudulent transaction, most likely,
right. And then as selected payment method, we want to use one of the instant processors, whether it be Apple Pay, PayPal. Some sites will have Shop Pay available. Use those. Do not use credit card. And the reason that is because with a credit card, specifically depending on the payment provider, your bank, they will check your zip code on file versus where you're shipping it to. And sometimes they will mark that as fraudulent. A lot of banks will also say, hey, you're buying this from some international site. We don't recognize this. We're declining this charge, right?
I see it all the time, Jason. Like even on my Shopify site, I see when people use a reship service and they don't match up, and they do exactly that, and it ends up flagging it as a fraudulent transaction.
So whereas with the instant processors, say Apple Pay, Shop Pay, PayPal, they don't do that checking, which for us is great. Kind of concerning if you're just normally shopping, but it is what it is. So I'm going to hit that change to Apple Pay. But yeah, now I can just browse around on Toppers, find a hat I might like. So you'll notice on the EU site, the prices are listed in the euro, which isn't too bad. Right now, the euro and the dollar are almost 1-to-1. I think the conversion rate is like 0.98. So figure a couple of percent higher than this. I think it'll come out to like $40 some,
which is still cheaper than a lot of the hats here.
Right. So same with the .co.uk. Those are listed in pounds. I'm not sure the conversion rate on those, but you're still going to pay about $40 a hat. And then shipping from Toppers to Germany is $3.90. No matter how many hats you buy, so about $4.
Wow.
Yeah, so it works out really, really well. And because my warehouse is in Germany, they get it the day after Toppers ships. It doesn't matter. It's like 1 day, period. So I'll go back to here. My shipment history. This came in. I said, all right, go ahead and forward it on. Selected FedEx Connect. This was 2 hats. I ended up paying about $32 for shipping from forward to me. All in for 2 hats. I paid $40 a hat plus $4 shipping at Toppers. So what is that? $84. $32 from forward to me. So you're looking at about $116 all in. Now, if I would have bought those two hats separately on Toppers, let's say, I'm looking at $58 per hat, which comes out to $116.
So is it easier? Is it better to let them wait a little bit and build it up? It's probably cheaper as you get more hats in there.
It is. And so let's go ahead and bring this down. So I went through a little scenario. Let's say you buy a couple hats a week from Toppers. All right. Forward to me will hold on to those for you for up to 30 days. And they will consolidate those into one package for about $2 per incoming package. Okay. So I'm looking at, let's say I ship 8 hats there in a month. I'm paying $4 shipping from Toppers, $2 repackaging fee. And then I did a little calculation before to send 8 hats back. And when you're doing these shipping calculations, figure about a half pound per hat. Because you got to include packaging weight and stuff like that. For a 4-pound package from forward to me to the United States was about $40.
Oh, that's it.
So I'm actually saving about $9 per hat, shipping it from Toppers to forward to me. And then So I'm already ahead like $30 total.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it does suck because I'm used to getting my toppers hats in 2 to 3 days. I'll be waiting up to a month now for them, but I'm still getting them, and I'm actually saving money.
Yeah. Nah, listen, man, I think this all makes sense. I think everyone's got to kind of do their own calculations and figure out what works for them. But for me, if you're buying like 8 hats a month or more, right?
Right.
Your best bet is to buy a couple at a time, have them sent to this warehouse address, let them collect, and when you get close to that 30-day, have them ship them to you.
Right. Now, if you buy more than that, you can actually save money by having them shipped every like 2 weeks. Like, you just got to weigh your options. But it's actually fairly easy to set up. I mean, we just did it in a couple of minutes. But yeah, the important things are find a warehouse on the continent you're ordering from. Use the quick pay options, your Apple Pays, your PayPals, your Shop Pays. And then find the reshipper that works best for you.
Now, listen, I don't even have one of these. I don't know if you had one of these before, Jason.
I did not.
I'm going to set one up. Yeah, I'm going to set one up now. Because for me, this is going to make it helpful for me, I think.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm actually excited now because I have a Japanese address. I'll be able to order from New Era, Japan, pretty easily.
Well, there are times too where you and I could probably work together, and like when I set my account up and we all want things from Japan, it's probably easier to do it through one of us because you and I are shipping things to each other all the time.
Right. Yep. That's another tip I want to say. If you have a few buddies, it makes it even more economical to do this because you can even reshare the address if you want, or have one of you place all the orders, whatever. But the more hats is going to be more economical. For the one-off hat, you're paying more, but you're still getting the hat. You're not paying resale prices.
This is still cheaper than a resale price, and this is still cheaper than a lot of hats domestically. There's some places out there that are charging $60 a hat already, plus shipping.
Plus $9-10 shipping. Yeah, I paid $73 the other day on a hat site in the United States just for one hat.
And I gotta tell you right now, if you did this through Toppers, like with the reship, you're talking about like it's still cheaper than that. It's $58.
Right.
If you're buying 2 hats.
Yeah.
58 each. I mean, come on, that's it. There's still ways to do this. And I think you laid it out very nicely, Jason. You actually listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, and for all of you that are watching, I didn't have a reship service. Now you've actually sold me on this one. There's no monthly fee. There are some fees incurred when you're starting to like repackage things and whatnot if you have multiple boxes shipped, but as you start to figure it out, you'll get better at it and you'll find the most economical and effective way for you personally to utilize these things. But you did sell me on this, and that's not just for the sake of this video. You sold me on it. So
yeah. I mean, I was kind of concerned too, but it's actually a lot easier and a lot. I'm not going to say cheap, but I don't have to depend on some random person in Europe ordering for me. Are they going to ship the boxes? This is a reputable company that this is what they do. So I have complete faith in them. I've heard some reports of like they asking for like passports and like a verified address when you set that up. That may just depend on where you live, stuff like that. So just do your research. It's not as difficult as it sounds, and with my Apple Pay set up on Toppers, I'm shopping just like I was before.
Yeah, listen, I think, and you know what? I think you're right. Cheap's not the right word, but cost effective is. I think like this is definitely cost effective if you're doing it the right way, and it also it still is relatively cheaper compared to what you can do domestically in a lot of cases. I mean, it's not going to compare to the low prices of Fanatics and lids. It's just not. That's a different animal, but it's right there with the local like small businesses that we like to support here from a pricing perspective. So, Jason, thank you so much, man. You demystified this for everybody. I think it's very clear. I think if you selected one that's right for you, and that's the one you personally recommend, but that doesn't negate the fact that I think everyone should still do their own research to figure out if there's something
I just want to say I haven't used it enough to fully recommend it.
Yeah.
I am saying this is the one I'm using and the one I'm trying for now. I'll give an update later if I find out it's not working for me and I need to ship or I need to change it. But I'm not going to give it 100% recommendation. But this is the one that I'm going to use.
Well, and this one from what you said looks like it's reputable in terms of like it's a well-known, established reshipping company.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So listen, hopefully you can get some of these links too into the description, Jason, so folks can kind of peruse and look around a little bit. Yep. And for those that don't go in the comments and say, hey, can you write down all the steps? Like, no, that's what the video is here for. Like, we're not going to write every step, but we will put the links in there for you. Right. We wanted to demystify this.
I might do a little like 3 or 4 step.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I mean, but not to the detail of what you did here. I mean, that would be intense. But no, I really appreciate this, Jason. Thank you for offering this up. And while Leon's not here, I want to thank Leon as well for kind of navigating some of the questions in Discord and creating
he gathered a lot of this information. Unfortunately, it's a little early in the morning for our cuddly.
Well, we almost recorded early enough where he was still awake, almost, but
almost.
Yeah. Well, listen, Jason, thanks again for this, man. This is fantastic. To all of our viewers out there, here's your lifeline to get those hats from overseas that you're yearning for. So, Jason, take us away.
Yeah. So hopefully everybody has some happy hunting internationally, both for our domestic pals and also our international friends ordering from the United States. This will work vice versa. But go to viewsfromthevault.com for all your merchandise needs. But for Pierre and Jason, we're out.
See you, everybody.
Peace.